We're looking at life after the VASIL hard fork in this most recent update. It was a wonderful success. We now develop goods and services that draw customers into the system and add value. I'll thus leave the timestamps for each of these parts in the following description. First, TVL is a very basic indicator of success on any blockchain. It can be manipulated and rigged. However, in general, you can see whether you are doing like-for-like comparisons. Cardano's 80 million users may not seem like much in comparison to Ethereum, which is currently the market leader with a market cap of approximately 31 billion, but we are currently in a bear market. And you can see that TBO is declining overall. Nothing will actually change until the macro problem, which, as you well know, is beyond the power of any particular developer or chain, is resolved. The number one protocol on Ethereum, MakerDAO, which is a decentralized stablecoin, is actually the big deal right now. Additionally, there are participants who stake derivatives, exchanges, and lending protocols that are all coming to and being established on Cardano. Currently, one of these is ADA Finance, which is truly the one whose 1 month chain change of its TVL is absurd, as you can see. Obviously, this ranges from 0 to a very modest number of 435K, but we are still in the very early phases of the recent VASIL hard fork. To launch their products, we offer liquid financing, as well as mail and other services. Therefore, the development of DeFi on Cardano is what we are searching for right now. Next, and considering that the market is undoubtedly in a bear market right now, Charles Hoskinson just gave an interview about what he believes might lead to the next bull run. But what is the cycle's following phase? We'll discuss that soon. But first, if you are enrolled in the cryptocurrency investor course, and I know many of you are, an update and a number of new videos are being released this week. They are clearly only available to course participants, but they are also free for current participants. If you haven't already, there are more than 200 films on investing, trading in cryptocurrencies, and other related topics. If you want to look it up, I'll put a link in the description. However, just like every other project, Cardano definitely needs a trigger to ignite the next bull run. What exactly is that? Charles believes that rather than trying to stop the business, we should potentially be looking at regulations that might ignite the next bull run. In this explanation, he identifies the factors that, in his opinion, might put an end to the crypto market's decline and spark a massive bull market. Don't take this headline too seriously because it is just a headline. However, what is clear from Charles's comments is that he believes that the cryptocurrency markets would see a massive bull run if the U.S. government were to enact the Financial Innovation Act. Given that the macroeconomic environment is now quite challenging, let's avoid getting carried away with a massive bull run. But what does he think about this? He claimed that since I entered the cryptocurrency field, I had experienced 7 bull and bear markets. And it's the same here. It could endure for 2 years or for 18 months. This year may come to an end when it does. Who exactly knows that is true at this time when all cryptocurrency prices, including those of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, are simply responding to a macro issue that is much larger than any of these projects or ecosystems at the moment. Senators Cynthia Lummis and Kristen Gillibrand of New York introduced the Financial Innovation Act, which intends to establish a thorough regulatory framework for the digital assets market. There is no doubt that this will breathe new life into cryptocurrency. In the U.S., Bitcoin will be regulated and people will be given guidelines, allowing institutions and bigger players to make asset allocation decisions that they currently, for the most part, cannot. However, he also points out that there are drawbacks to regulation, including the possibility of a mega bear market and an enormous amount of litigation if individuals like Gary Gensler become the SEC chair. And all of these unfortunate business owners are essentially forced out of business. Now moving on from that one area that might be regulated out of existence, this draft U.S. stablecoin bill would criminalize the development of new algo stablecoins and ban them for 2 years. We'll explain what algo stablecoins are and why they might be banned later. Additionally, the current draft contains a 2-year grace time for present algorithmic stablecoin producers to modify their business models. In other words, if this passes, it's a warning shot that they don't just want to criminalize and block the development of new algorithmic trading firms, they also want all currently operating firms to effectively undergo transformation or be taken off the market. It's actually quite large. According to reports, the definition would include stable coins that are represented as having the potential to be converted, repurchased, or otherwise redeemed for a fixed price, but instead rely on the value of another virtual asset from the same issuer to maintain their price. This basically implies you have a stable currency that advertises that it is steady as $1 and is backed by crypto. So, in essence, as Luna stated, we have something else here that is a risk asset and it is backing the stable coin, which is obviously a major problem. Why does that concern Cardano? JED, a crypto-backed, algorithmic stable coin, is now launching, as far as I know, and they even have a page dedicated to it on their own website. Now, the way JED operates is totally different from how Luna was put up. JED is actually extremely straightforward. It merely has Cardano's support. ADA using excessive collateral. Therefore, as you can see, 400%. Therefore, there must be at least $4 in ADA to back every $1 in JED, otherwise, it is impossible to produce additional JED. Therefore, it differs greatly from something like Luna in this regard, while it is a stable coin supported by hazardous assets. You must thus presume that JED won't be traveling to the States if that measure is passed. JED will be a very niche use case and a very niche kind of asset that people will own, as I've repeatedly stated. The main asset is the manufacturer DAI, which is also extremely small in terms of size and is not something that most people would hold. But what other approaches are we considering to provide stable currencies into Cardano, as without stable coins, nobody will be motivated to add any money to the system? So, we require stable currency. Melda is now working on a project known as Ackerman. Additionally, this essay contains a lot of filler if you read it from beginning to end. But if we cut through all of that, what they're really attempting to do is wrap some stable Polygon coins around Cardano. The fact that the Polygon is encasing coins made of Ethereum is the first of several significant problems with this. You now have a Polygon-wrapped version. Additionally, the Polygon proof-of-stake chain has 100 validators and is a centralized organization. Assuming that the centralized network has its own trust assumptions, let's go on. What you're actually doing is taking a wrapped version from Polygon and wrapping it once more to deliver it to Cardano. To wrap the coin and bring it onto Cardano, you're introducing another centralized entity there. There are a lot of problems with wrapping coins, so I really don't advise utilizing them, especially on new systems. After all, we've seen bridges get hacked before, and when that happens, all of your money vanishes in an instant. So this is one technique, but I don't advise utilizing any rat coins until they've been, trust-based for a very long time and they've worked. However, Indigo is also working on a technique referred as assets. Once more, this is just a way to add a $1 stablecoin to Cardano that users can trade against, as this is what most users want to do. What is Indigo up to? Well, I consider their assets to be something they genuinely bring. There are other assets outside stable currencies as well. However, as you can see, if assets are individually over-collateralized, the Indigo system will be a protocol that enables people to collateralize various assets and transform them into something else. This makes sure that the AI asset is backed up by collateral that is worth more than the ISA itself, regardless of the state of the market. For instance, without understanding the precise details of how they plan to achieve this, 100 IST can be backed up to $200 worth of ADA. This might resemble the stable currency being published by the RV protocol based on the theorem known as GHO or GO-GHO. It is a stable coin that makes use of all of their system's resources. Consequently, a loan and borrowing procedure exists. They believe they may leverage the billions of dollars worth of crypto assets that are largely idle on that platform to collateralize another stable coin. These are all modest and admirable uses for stable coins. I think that native stable coins from US Dollar Tether and US Dollar Coin on IT system is something that Cardano must absolutely work on right away so that people can be trusted here. They can start employing Cardano's to start lending out their money once they obtain their money. They want these multi-asset, collateralized stable coins wrapped with trust. Most people don't want to utilize them. Therefore, Cardano must take immediate action to obtain stables locally issued on its ledger. Therefore, all of the projects like Meld, Liquid Finance, and MaladX that do want to launch on Cardano rely on reliable, stable coins on the Cardano network, but they are not yet available. The macro situation is therefore beyond of everyone's control, and it is a significant obstacle that must be addressed. Therefore, that also needs to alter. This week's updates for course participants will be available if you decide to look into the Crypto Investor course, so keep an eye out for those. If you want to understand more about the other sections as well, we have a device section here. So, if that's of interest, I'll leave that linked in the description.